The year is 1903, and the Romanov family is enjoying their beautiful lives of happiness and leisure, but those outside of these palace walls do not have it so lucky. All but the blessed 1% of the population at this time lived with nearly nothing. With all this hunger in the land, something was bound to give soon. As their people starved outside, the Romanov family had a problem of its own.
4 daughters, can you believe it? I thought we had done it. I thought Anastasia would be a boy. I'm such a failure. The people will know me as the funeral bride. I can't even provide an heir.
Darling, it is okay to have 4 daughters. I love my daughters and wouldn't give them away for anything. If it is God's plan for us to have a son, we will have a son.
Still, I hope God would hurry up his plan.
It shall be soon.
Nearly a year later, God had continued his plan for the Romanovs and given them a son, but more trouble awaits the royal family.
It's called hemophilia. He'll have it for the rest of his life.
Well, at least we have a son, and God's plan will be fulfilled.
I hope so.
The royal family worried about their ailing heir. Outside the palace, the citizens and workers were getting more and more upset by the day. The Bolshevik Party was starting to form, and many people were calling for revolution. But the Romanovs don't seem too concerned about their citizens' hatred. Instead, Alexandra comes up with a way to help her son.
This is Rasputin. He was sent by God to help our son.
I am a child of God.
Good, then you can come over to our house and become a close family friend.
Rasputin became a frequent visitor at the Romanov household, but the public did not love him as much as the Romanovs did.
Have you heard of that strange Rasputin man?
Yes, I have. Why would the royal family let such a man like him into their household?
Who's to say they're any better? I say they'd be overthrown.
Yes, I agree.
People even went as far as to try to kill Rasputin, thinking he was far too close to the government for a man of his moral standards, but he was still greatly valued by the royal family, especially Alexandra, who believed that he was able to protect her son from his illness. So, life goes on for the Romanovs and their dear friend, while everything continues to go downhill. Things get significantly worse in August 1914.
Declare war on Germany and Austria-Hungary.
The war was a hard one, and Nicholas soon decided to move to Stavka and become commander-in-chief and be in charge of all war efforts. He moved to Stavka far away from his family and the government. While Nicholas was off commanding at Stavka, Alexandra was left to run the government with the help of her dear friend Rasputin.
Dear Alexandria, will you please hire my unqualified friends to be ministers?
Anything for you, Rasputin.
These new ministers made the already grieving citizens very upset as they drunkenly leapfrogged around to different positions and turned many more people against Rasputin and the Tsar for letting such a disarray occur in their government. Something was bound to give.
We're sorry to inform you that Rasputin has been murdered. Tonight we found his dead body dumped in the Neva River.
God have mercy. Such utter anguish.
Alexandra and the children cried for days. Perhaps they knew what was quickly approaching them. Soon after Rasputin's death, the final straw broke. Workers began to revolt with violence and left Nicholas with no choice.
I give up the throne to my brother.
His brother refused, leaving all power up for grabs as the Romanovs enjoyed the leisure their new confined lives provided them. Soon the Romanovs are moved away from Sorsko Selo and take to Tobolsk.
I can't believe we're actually leaving.
What shall the future be for my children? My heart breaks.
At the new mansion in Tobolsk, the Romanovs were faced with no problems but boredom, while outside their sheltered lives more issues arose for the Russian people. The bloody war continued and people were still starving. Many blamed the provisional government, so no one really cared when the Bolsheviks overtook the short-lived form of government in an event known as the October Revolution. After their boring stay in Tobolsk, the Romanovs were once again moved, this time to a house known as the House of Special Purpose. When they got there, they were forced to live in only 5 rooms for all of them, and their servants were treated horribly. On July 17, 1918, the Romanovs were woken up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning by Yakov Yurovsky.
You must wake up. You are being moved to the safety of the cellar for the White Army is outside, and the town is uneasy.
Can we gather our things first?
No, the guards will bring them down later.
Can we change?
Yes, but hurry up.
The Romanovs put on their camisoles, which had been lined with jewels for safekeeping because they believed this was their chance for escape.
No dogs.
Oh, I mustn't leave Jemmy. He's my dearest friend.
Okay, fine. This is where you will be staying. Please, everybody stand in a straight line. In spite of your European relatives and their countless aggressions against Soviet Russia, it has been declared that you are to be shot.
What? No!
Yakov dropped the paper and proceeded to shoot all of the Romanovs dead.